Obviously, coming into the game, 3-point defense was, was really going to be the name of the game, and I thought our guys stepped up to the challenge of defending the 3-point line. Holding South Dakota to 3 threes is not easy. You look at their box scores of their first 5 games, and they did an incredible job of knocking down threes prior to tonight. They're well coached, they execute, they cut hard. Their players understand their roles. I think they're going to have a great season. They're a team that I think can win their league for sure. Having said all that, we changed our pick and roll defense, and we switched and went to an immediate deny, which we have not done here in the first 4 games. And it's something that we did against Davidson a few years ago. That loved to take a lot of threes, and their center could shoot threes. And I thought our perimeter guys did a great job of switching to a deny. And then, for all those analytic guys that think a mid-range game has gone out of basketball, Jimmy, welcome to Jimmy Witt's world.
Questions? Kevin?
So, Eric, they cut it to 10 there with, I don't know, 7 exactly 7 minutes left. You think, they're hanging around, and you guys close out 15 to 4. What was the key to that?
Just that, defensively, I thought we did a really good job of locking in. I thought we had they got some transition baskets off 1 or 2 of our turnovers. We had a baseline switch on the defense where Mason did a pirouette. I don't know where he was going or what route he was taking. They hit a shot and got a little bit of a momentum, and I think there was a timeout right around that time, and we were able to regroup. And it's the first time this year we've kind of, I call it milk a clock game, where we kind of milked the clock, and we started at about 6.5 minutes where we ran just a wing pick and roll every single time down the floor and spaced it and didn't try to attack the rim until there was between 7 or 9 seconds on the clock. Doing it for the first time, I was a little shaky on how we would handle it, but really proud of how they understood to milk that thing. And there was mathematically no way that if we just basically dribbled the shot clock out and threw it in the stands and didn't give them a live ball turnover or a quick shoot, that we were going to win the game once we extended that lead above 15.
Okay. You talked about Jimmy in his mid-range game. He's been getting you off to fast starts through these games, but tonight it carried you at times. Every time it seemed like they'd make a mini run, he'd get a big bucket, a putback, a drive, and a pull-up. Talk a little bit about that versatility that we hadn't seen in full bloom until tonight.
Yeah, I think Jimmy's main concern is always to try to get Mason and try to get Isaiah involved and try to get them quick shots and get Desi shots. And I think he recognized, we shot 4 for 20 from 3, and still came away with the win against a good team. And we've got to start shooting the 3 ball better for sure. It's now happened, several times, several games, and but I thought Jimmy his shot selection's so good. Every time he shoots it, it's a good shot. It's close to the rim. He elevates over the defense. Probably, people don't recognize there's a lot of times where, the other team's 4-man guards him, and I think that's an advantage for us. Teams know that he's got kind of an inside game, and every time somebody puts a 4-man on him, he kills that matchup. So hopefully other teams will keep doing it. And then on the flip side, we actually had Jimmy guard number 0, Stanley Mude, who's their best player, we felt, who could get his shot better than anybody on South Dakota's team. And so Jimmy's guarding their 4-man, and I thought that was a really key matchup for us, because he is a tough cover, and Jimmy made every shot that he took a contested shot.
You said coming into the season that rebounding would be a huge key for this team. You guys out-rebounded South Dakota tonight. How do you feel that they've done in that aspect of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, we got a rebound, Monday night, I can tell you that. They have one of the nation's best shot blockers. Georgia Tech has a really active 4-man. They got a guard coming off a game where he had 34 points and his crafty scores. So, we're going to be rebounding against a different team on Monday than we were tonight from an athletic standpoint and a length standpoint. You know, at halftime, I complimented Desi because he had 4 defensive rebounds in the first half, which is a lot for Desi to have in a half. So, you know, you look at tonight, Mason had 7, Jimmy had 7 rebounds, and Isaiah. You know, so we didn't get a lot of rebounding tonight from, you know, from our interior people. You know, Reggie only had 2, and Adrian only had 3. So at the center spot, we had a combined 5 rebounds, but our guards did a great rebounding, defensive rebounding job tonight.
Feel you got a lot off your bench tonight, considering they all scored and got some rebounds?
Yeah, I thought our bench really played well. I thought, you know, Jalen Harris's minutes were really good. You know, he continues to shoot free throws well, going 4 for 4 tonight. And you know, we have not gotten a ton of scoring, but 20. I think we had 21 bench points tonight. You know, our guys that came in and checked in did a really good job for us.
With the 3-point shooting, I mean, like, I think Desi's like 1 of 22, it just seems kind of nuts, and Isaiah struggled again. Do you think it's just a matter of, hey, those shots got to start falling more often, or are you concerned about the 3-point shooting?
I'm concerned about a litany of things every night, but yeah, I mean, we need to make some threes because we don't post up a lot. So we've got to start figuring out, you know, how to get that lid off it. But you know, it doesn't do any good to talk about it with them. I mean, they just got to get in and get reps up, and you know, when we make threes, we're going to be a lot more dangerous team from an offensive standpoint.
You guys always do a great job, you know, winning at home, being the teams you're supposed to be. Georgia Tech's already won at North Carolina State. What's your take on Georgia Tech, and just kind of a chance for you guys to say, okay, we've been beating all these mid-majors at home, we're supposed to, now let's, you know, what can we do against the ACC team on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, having, you know, 3 true road games, non-conference, is there's not a lot of Power 5 teams that have 3 true road games. There's some that might have more neutral floor games, so to speak. But you know, we're going into a, you know, an ACC program that, like you said, won, you know, a game at NC State. I thought they played Georgia well for stretches. They're active at the 4 and 5 spot, like really active, and you know, they have a guard that is just really crafty and can shoot with deep range, and so it's good. I mean, it's going to be a big time challenge for sure, as we all know, any road game against a quality opponent will be. And it's first time us, you know, doing, you know, it's the first time we've been on the road at all, even traveling together as a group. So there's going to be a lot of newness starting on Sunday when we get on the plane. You know, how do we do meals on the road? All that stuff's going to be, you know, new. It's a new staff. So, but I also think it gives us a time to bond as well. You know, you're with guys a lot more when you're on the road, and that'll be good for us too, I think.
So after the Texas Southern game, the guys said that they were already watching film with you on South Dakota. How quickly do you move on to the next game after games?
Yeah, I just, you know, having worked for Coach Chuck Daly, it was something that I picked up on. You know, it's kind of a little bit more of an NBA thing, you know, because you play so many games and you don't have a lot of prep time. But if you walked in our locker room right now, the keys to the game against Georgia Tech are up on our board. Their depth chart's up on our board. Their top scorers, rebounders are up on our board, and they'll start getting stuff texted to them tonight, whether it be video clips or a scouting report. You know, I mean, one of the newer assistants, you know, grabbed me after the Texas Southern game and said, "Coach, you might want to let them celebrate a little instead of bringing up South Dakota." But I also think that it's really important that our guys understand, you know, how much we respect. You know, we won the game against Texas Southern. You know, they're student athletes. I know they're going to have fun after the game as soon as I leave there anyhow. So, but I do think it's important that you know, look at the games last night. I mean, UCLA loses at home. I mean, there was 3 of them last night that you're just wondering, like, how does this, you know, how does it happen? And it happens when you're not mentally ready to play, because anybody can beat anybody. And so that's kind of our thought process on why let's start looking into the next opponent as quick as possible.
Final question here?
Do you feel like you guys are ready for a big road test, or you?
Are you coming to the game, buddy? I can tell you after the game.
Actually, that's probably the only one we're not gonna be on the road for, sorry about that.
I mean, I don't know, I think it's a great question, you know, and I think we're still evolving as a team offensively. Look, we're small, you know, and you know, we gotta play great post defense, and we gotta rebound the ball. Like, we're gonna have to scrap around and do everything we can from a defensive rebounding standpoint. And then we're gonna have to make, if we go 4-20 on the road against Georgia Tech, probably not gonna win the game if that's what we shoot from three. So we gotta make a few threes at a higher clip than we have. We've gotta defend at a high level. We gotta rebound the basketball to win against anybody on the road.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.